Record. A Night to Remember. A Pokemon fanfiction. Why do we have to stop at Lily Cove City? Ash complained toward May. I mean, we can gain at least 10 miles past Lily Cove and camp outside. May glared at Ash with anger that could scare an Onyx. Ash, for once we can finally afford to pay for a hotel. Since Brock and Max went to Joe together, we can afford more luxuries. May informed Ash, which is a little bit of blush after realizing they're alone they're alone together now. Ash just sighed. He knew that when May got an idea in her head, there was no changing it. He stopped walking and turned to face May. Alright, May, we'll stay at a hotel in Lily Cove. May couldn't believe it. Ash had just let her have her way and not really put up a big argument. Out of some fit of joy, May tackled Ash to the ground with a big hug. Thank you, Ash. You don't know how happy I am. Ash only turned his face from May because it was so red that he would be mistaken for a Charmander. His heartbeat was racing at 1,000 miles per second, and a certain part of his body was starting to take over his conscious. After a minute, Ash finally spoke. May, you can let go now. Eyes May shot open, and she immediately got up off of Ash. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock you down. May's head went down. I understand if you hate me. Ash just couldn't believe for 1 second that she could possibly think that he hated her. He got up and walked over to May. He raised up her chin so they were eye level with each other. May, listen. There is no way in hell that I could possibly hate you. You're the greatest friend that anyone could ask for, and every day I thank whatever God there is that I met you. Ash said this while pouring his soul into it. May was in tears now. No one had ever said something so beautiful to her in her life. She stared into Ash's eyes and gave him the tightest, most affectionate hug he'd ever gotten from a girl. Ash fully embraced May this time and returned the hug. May finally spoke. Ash, thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to me. But I'm the lucky one for meeting you. Ash just stared down at May in his arms. She really is beautiful. Wait! What did I just think? She's just a friend. That's it, just a friend. But she is beautiful. Her brown hair is so silky, and her skin is so soft and smooth. Arg! I'm doing it again! May looked up to see Ash just staring at her. Ash, are you okay? Ash snapped out of his train of thought. What? Was all that he could get out. You've been staring at me for a whole minute now, she replied with a light blush taking over her face. Oh, sorry. I was thinking, he said, while scratching the back of his head with a blush on his face also. For a couple of minutes, there was nothing but silence. Ash, deciding to break the awkward silence, spoke. Come on, how about we get going to Lily Cove? May's face lit up with excitement. Right, let's go! She grabbed Ash's hand and dragged him with her as she ran to their destiny. It's like, awkward pause. Then he spoke. Awkward pause, then she spoke with a blush. He was also blushing. Everyone was blushing. I love him so much. I wonder if he feels the same way about me, May kept thinking. Tonight I'll tell him how I feel. No matter how dense he is, I'm going to tell him. And at that moment, May decided that she was going to give Ash a night to remember. Later, well, we're finally here, May said as they approached the Lily Cove Hotel. Ash was panting from the 2-mile sprint May had just dragged him through. Ash didn't notice, but May's hand was still tightly grasped onto his. May, on purpose, kept her hand on his. She enjoyed the warmth and love that she felt every time they so much as touched. May, you are right. It is a good idea to rest here, Ash openly admitted. Well, thank you for admitting. Now let's go get a room, May said while dragging Ash along to the counter. Hello there. How may I help you? The attendant at the desk asked. May answered, yes, we would like to get one room with 2 beds. And a mini refrigerator filled with food, Ash added. Let me see what we have, the attendant said while checking on her computer for open rooms. Okay, I got 1 room free, but it has only 1 king-size bed. Ash's face immediately turned red, but May was calm about for some reason. Well, May, I guess we got to find some other hotel, Ash said while walking toward the door, only to be grabbed by the collar and spun around. That's okay, Ash. We could just share, May said with an innocent voice, but Ash could swear he heard a bit of seduction in it. Ash turned his face because it was red and spoke. Okay, if you're comfortable with it. May brought Ash into a hug and whispered in his ear. I trust you, Ash, but maybe you shouldn't trust me, she said with a seductive voice that made Ash shiver, but experienced something new to him. Lust. May grabbed Ash's arm and took him upstairs to their room. I guess they forgot to pay. As Ash got one last look at the attendant, he saw her wink at him and gave him a look that says, good luck. Night. Ash, after having changed into his pajamas that consisted of a muscle shirt and his boxers, sat on a couch in their room. May... Oh my god. May had been taking a shower and changing for over an hour now, and Ash is wondering what was taking her so long. Hey May, you okay in there? He yelled at the bathroom door. Yeah, I'll be out in a minute, she yelled back. A minute later, Ash heard the bathroom door open. He looked and his jaw almost fell off. There stood May in a white gown that went down to her upper thigh. She also had some makeup on that Ash thought made her skin look beautiful.
Upper thighs.
Do you like it? She asked with a seductive voice. You... ... Look! ... Beautiful! Ash said with a blush so red he looked like a tomato.
Like a Charmander.
No, tomato this time.
Which one's more red?
May sat down on the couch with him. You know, Ash, I really like you. Wow, like that wasn't apparent. She said while grabbing his arms and lifting him up to where they were standing. She slowly brought him over to the bed. Time to go to bed, Ashy. The nickname sent shivers throughout his body. All he could get out was, okay. Ash laid down on the right side of the bed to give May room, but 10 seconds later he felt arms around his chest. I'm really uncomfortable reading this. Ash, Ash, why are you all the way over there? May said while pulling him to the middle of the bed. To give you more room, Ash stuttered out of his mouth. May then grabbed his shoulder and turned him so that they were facing each other. Ashy, I'm cold, she said while scooting closer to him. Ash loved the feeling of her breast against him, and finally he snapped. He stared deep into May's eyes, and he closed the distance between their lips. May slipped her tongue into Ash's mouth, and he moaned, ugh, with pleasure. After 5 minutes,
Wait, what?
they had to break apart for air.
5 minutes?
5 minutes,
Wow.
they weren't breathing. I love you, Ash, May said, while burying her face in his chest. I love you too, angel of my life. May blushed at the nickname Ash gave her.
That's her nickname.
May flipped on top of Ash. She grabbed at his pants and said, prove it, she said with a seductive smile. Ash grinned and said, your wish is my command.
Oh my god. Is this skip?
Morning. No, I skipped to morning. Morning.
No, keep going.
I'm going.
Oh, it skips. It actually skips.
Morning. May woke up. She looked up to Ash sleeping with his arms secured around her. She lifted up the covers to see what she had hoped. She couldn't believe how wonderful last night was, and when Ash woke up, she would ask for another. She wrapped her arms tightly around Ash and thought to herself, if any bitch comes near my Ash, I will kill them, but to make sure I'll I'll make Ash wears a shirt that says, May Ketchum's Ashy. That's right, soon, she hoped, Ash would pop the question to her. Just as she thought this, she felt a hand lift her chin up. May looked up to see Ash looking at her. May, will you marry me? Ash said with his eyes. With his eyes staring into hers. May's eyes started forming tears of joy, and she answered, yes, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes. May yelled while hugging him. At this moment, Ash thought to himself, I got to admit, this was a night definitely to remember. The end.
There's 7 more
Well,
chapters.
there's
of
7
this.
more chapters, but we're not reading that.